My name is Carrie. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a concept video that's kind of like 4 different videos combined, and I know that sounds really strange, but they just kind of all go together really well. So we are going to look back on 2024 together, or at least like my 2024, and then look forward on what I want out of 2025, while also doing like a little bit of an introduction, get to know me type process. This is my very first video on YouTube, which I'm so excited for. But you guys don't really know me, so I figured like what better way to like introduce myself than to tell you like these were my goals in 2024, this is how I did or did not accomplish them, here's what I'm hoping to accomplish in 2025. 2024 was like a wild year for me. I really like expected a lot out of the year and simultaneously got a lot, and then also like didn't get what I wanted out of it. I'm really hoping for like a bit more out of 2025, I think. But reflecting on 2024, it's like really important to me to kind of recognize that although maybe I did not like, you know, cross off every single thing I had on my list, I did make progress on pretty much every single thing I had on my list, and that's what was really important to me. So I'm gonna be like so completely vulnerable with you guys. This is what I like to call my journal, but I don't write in it like normal people would write in a journal. It's kind of like just like a catch-all for all of my notes. But I write a couple of pages, or I dictate a couple of pages each year to kind of like my resolutions, my goals, my predictions, my moments of the year, that sort of thing. So that's kind of like what we're gonna go over. Starting with my 2024 resolutions and goals. My first one was to graduate college. I did not do that. I still have 2 classes left to take. I just had some financial issues, I guess, like financial aid issues. My work pays for my school, but I still have to like apply and like qualify for FAFSA. And something got messed up with my FAFSA account, and so I had to like do some fixing things. So I shall be in my last 2 classes this summer, and then I'll be able to graduate. So unfortunately, I was not able to graduate this fall, or this past fall, like I wanted to, but I still made like really good progress. I'm literally only 2 classes away from graduation, and I think that's fantastic. My major is film and media production. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I really would like to like see myself maybe being like an executive producer one day, but really just like anything in the film and media industry, like that's my passion. I want to like tell stories, I want to create stories, specifically like the TV show world, like develop. I have really strong opinions on TV shows, so I'd really like to see kind of like that blossom a little bit. I'd like to also help, if it's attainable, get us back to 22 episode seasons, because nothing sucks more than waiting 2 years for 8 episodes of a show. There's just nothing that sucks more. When I graduate this summer/fall, know that I'm coming to a TV near you. Who knows? One of my next 2024 resolutions was to finish draft 1 of a book. I really have this like passion for creativity and creating stories, hence the film and media aspirations that I have. And for a while I kind of thought about being an author. I do like and enjoy writing books, but I don't think it's quite my calling. So I did work on a draft of the book, and I did not finish it like my resolution was here, but I think that I decided that it's like not necessarily for me, and that might change should I ever get another like book idea and decide to try it again. You know, you never know, it could always happen. But for me, I consider that goal having been like attained, if that makes sense, because no, I did not finish the draft, but I did figure out that writing wasn't necessarily like what I wanted to do. Do I think it's dark in here? Maybe I should open up the blinds. Will that look weird halfway through the video? I guess we'll find out. I don't know if that helped at all, but we're gonna try it. My next resolution of 2024 was to go on 1 date, and I know that that sounds really like low bar expectations. It was. Basically, I just don't date that often. Not really for any particular reason. Like, I'm just not going to put myself out there and go out on dates and things like that if I feel like I'm not going to be invested in it right away. I'm not fully invested. It's not fair of me to like commit to those kinds of things. And I'm not desperate to go off and like be in a relationship, but I did want to go on at least one date in 2024, and I did. I went on a date towards the beginning of the year, like in the first quarter, and although obviously nothing came of it, we did not have a second date or anything like that. Like, I'm really thankful that I went on the date to begin with. I think that the experience was really great, and that was like the whole point of that goal, was that I wanted to go on a date last year, and I did that. So this is actually, I think, like the first resolution that's on my list that I actually achieved in this video. So there's that. My next resolution of 2024 was to read 24 books, which I know is not a lot compared to a lot of people who read. Clearly, I love to read, but very specifically, I loved to read in high school, and that's when I started this collection of mine that you see. Basically, like the last 5 years, I've really like fallen off of it. I just don't really have the time for it anymore, that sort of thing, but I really, really have been wanting to get back into it. In 2024, I am so happy to say I did get back into it. I swore that I would always be a physical book girly. Last summer, I bought a Kindle. I read exactly 24 books this year, majority of which were on my Kindle. Having a Kindle really like changed the game for me. I read all the time now. I read in bed, I read in the car, like when I'm riding somewhere with somebody. I read on my breaks at work. Like, I don't know, having a Kindle and having that like transportable, easy like access to a book that I want to read, or multiple books that I want to read, has really just like changed the game. 24 books is not a lot, but consider the fact that I read the majority of them between like late August and mid-December, and I'm really proud of myself. I did read some of them earlier in the year because I've never not read. It's just I don't always read like a ton. But we're going to kind of delve into that a little bit in the 2025 goals part of this video, when I talk about my reading goals for next year, 2025. And that was really like all of my 2024 resolutions. I really don't make that many because I like to keep them attainable and reasonable. So now, according to my little journal, we're going to talk about my 2024 predictions. I didn't do like pop culture predictions, which I did do for this year, but last year they were like a little bit more personal. I am going to talk about them a little bit, but I might not go as into detail then because they were like really about my personal life. I predicted that we would get the finished up versions of the re-recordings, Reputation and Debut, Taylor's version. We did not. I am a huge Swiftie. I don't think we've actually covered that at all in this video yet, which is like real surprising, just so we all know, because that is like my number one personality trait. This is my All of the Girls You Loved Before bracelet. I have on a Tortured Poets Department necklace. Or maybe sometime we'll do like a room tour video, but on the other side of my room, like behind the camera, I have what I call like my fangirl wall, and it has like pictures of all of the artists that I'm really into, such as Taylor Swift, my number one, my Angel Baby, and then Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, Chappell Roan. I also really like Maisie Peters. I do not have anything for her yet though, unfortunately. Obviously in January, this was pre-Grammys last year, so I had no idea the Tortured Poets Department was coming. So I'm fully 100% okay with having been wrong about getting Reputation and Taylor's version. I do think though, and we'll cover this later, I do think they're coming in 2025 though. Maybe that's the clown in me, but here we are. I also predicted that we would get a new Sabrina album last year, and we did. We did get a new Sabrina album, and I am so thankful for her. I loved Short and Sweet. We'll talk about this in a second, but I actually got to go see her on tour during this album rollout, which is great, amazing. So that's all of my like predictions that were more like pop culture based. Reading through the personal ones, I kind of decided to like cut them out just because they weren't always necessarily about me. They might have been about friends that I had, and that was not fair to kind of like air that out on here. But like I said, my 2025 predictions, they're a lot more like pop culture heavy, so we're gonna get into those later. Next, we're gonna talk about what my 2024 bucket list was. So I wanted to travel somewhere new. In a way I did that. I don't think I actually went to like a brand new location with the intention of going to said brand new location. That being said, I did travel a little bit this past year. I went to Michigan in the late spring with my family. That's where I'm from. And my nephew graduated high school this year, so we went to go, see his ceremony and see family from around there. So we camped, and so while we were driving up there, we did stay in a place in Indiana, maybe, might have been Tennessee or Illinois. I'm a passenger princess, y'all. I don't know. We stayed somewhere. And then definitely on the way home, we stayed somewhere in Kentucky. Like, I did go somewhere new. I didn't really like go there with the intention of going to them, but there's that. And then also for my birthday this past October, I did go to Atlanta. I had been to Atlanta multiple times. And we went to go see where The Vampire Diaries was filmed. The Vampire Diaries is my favorite show. Really, really enjoyed that. I have been to Covington, which is where they filmed it, multiple times, but it was really, really special to be there. Like, on my birthday, I was planning on spending the whole day there. We like stayed in an Airbnb that was in Covington. It was just like a wonderful experience. So although that wasn't necessarily that I had gone somewhere new, it was a new experience. So I think all around, I consider that one checked off of my bucket list. My next one was that I wanted to get a kitten this past year. As I previously mentioned, I do have a dog and a cat, but I wanted to get a second cat this past year. I unfortunately did not end up doing that. I'm really like waiting for like the right time where like I feel that I have the right finances to take on a third animal, as well as like that I have the time to sit at home and properly introduce them to my two existing animals. Get a kitten is very well still something that I want to do and hope to do in the future, but I'm not rushing myself to do that. However, I do say that if the cat distribution system picks me, what can we do? The last thing that was on my bucket list in 2024 was to gain a new hobby, which I absolutely did. This year, really, like I said, I really fell back in love with reading, which is like an amazing experience for me. But I've had a Switch for a couple of years. I got one in 2020, to play Animal Crossing, and I ended up actually not really loving Animal Crossing at the time. I do like it more now, but at the time I didn't end up really liking it, so I didn't really play my Switch that much. Specifically in the last 4-ish months, I have gotten really into my Nintendo Switch again. So cozy gaming has really become like a really big hobby of mine in the last couple of months. My personal favorites to play are Hogwarts Legacy, Stardew Valley. I'm still learning, but I do like it. I have logged a couple of hours on it. I really like to play Mario Party games. And then my number one game of all time is Disney Dreamlight Valley. I actually had it on my PC when it was in beta a couple years ago. I really liked it there, but I just have found over the years that I'm much less inclined to go sit down at my desk and play on my PC compared to like sitting down in my bed or on the couch with my Switch. So I was really, really happy to have purchased it for my Switch and be able to have that experience, because I just love Disney Dreamlight Valley. If you are a Disney fan and you like games like Animal Crossing, I really think you'd like it. It's got kind of like a heavy questing aspect, which I really enjoy. I like having direction in a game, but also being able to do my own thing, which is kind of like the perfect blend that Disney Dreamlight Valley is. So next we are going to talk about my 2024 moments. So these are just like important things that happened to me throughout the year. I've been keeping them in this little list. It doesn't look that long. To be honest with you, I've probably fell off of writing some things on it, but we're going to kind of go over what I remembered to write down throughout the year. So number one that I wrote down was the Tortured Poets Department announcement. I have a video of that somewhere. I was Snapchatting one of my friends and I was like taking a video. I looked horrible. I had just like done self-care for the night. I was watching the Grammys because we thought that she was going to announce Reputation. And I'm taking a video and my TV stream was glitching really badly, so you couldn't really hear. And then all of a sudden, while I'm like talking, I could hear Taylor, and I was like, hold on, Taylor's talking. And then she announced Tortured Poets, and I literally look into the video and I'm like, I've got to go. Taylor Swift just announced a new album. I did not talk to my friend after sending that video for like another 2 hours because I had to process the fact that we were getting TS11. It was a really big day for me. So with that hand in hand, the Tortured Poets Department and the anthology coming out together, those were also like a very key pivotal point of my year. I had a listening party with my roommate. She's also a big Swiftie, and we sat down to listen to tracks 1 through 15? 1 through 16? What is the standard? Through Clairbout. I don't know the numbers, but we sat down to listen to those, and then we saw that the countdown had begun on the Instagram page, and I was kind of thinking it was going to be like Midnights. You know, we were going to get like 5 to 6 extra songs. I had noticed that all of the lyrics that were in the pop-up event were not in the album, so I was thinking we were getting some like extra songs. I was not expecting a full extra album, so that was really cool. So that was only like a key pivotal point in my 2024. Kind of staying in line with Taylor Swift things, I did go to a Taylor Swift dance party this year, early in February. Me and my 2 best friends, we went, we drove about an hour and stayed in a hotel to go to it. That was really fun to be like in that like bar setting, or that club setting, I guess. But like listening to music that you know and you know it well. So if you've never gone to a Taylor Swift dance night, if you have the opportunity to go, I would so go for that, for Taylor Swift or for like any of your favorite artists, because there's just like, it's so comforting to like be able to go out and have a good time, because you know that you know the music that's going to be played, and you know that it's going to be some of your favorite songs of all time. And the other like key pivotal point of my year this year, outside of my birthday, which I had kind of just previously talked about, so I'm not really going to like go into it all again, was that the day before my birthday, I actually had tickets to go see Sabrina Carpenter in Atlanta, late October, for the Short and Sweet tour, and that was just an amazing experience. We were down on the floor in the arena, but not in the pit, like not in the standing room only. We had seats, but we were like actually on the floor, so we were really close. I took really amazing pictures. We got to hear all of these songs that I really loved, and just like being there the night before my birthday was a wonderful experience. Fantastic. It truly like was one of the highlights of my year. Last thing I want to do in a summation of 2024 is talk about my Spotify Wrap. Again, just so you can like get to know me, I like to take individualized stats, where did these, of each specific month from a stats app that I have on my phone to kind of like learn my listening habits. But I also like to track my Spotify Wrapped. I get a lot of joy from following these stats of my music. I'm not sure why, but it's something that really excites me. So I thought I'd share with you, because if you're anything like me, and then you're gonna like want to hear them, you know? My total minutes that I listened to through the year, according to Spotify, was 49,060 minutes. I was in the top 5% of listeners. My biggest listening day was May 3rd, where I listened to a total of 1,078 minutes. I have no idea what happened on May 3rd. I couldn't tell you. It was like 3 weeks after Tortured Poets came out. So I'm sure that's what I was listening to a lot of on that day, but I couldn't tell you what specifically happened that I decided to listen to 1,078 minutes worth of Tortured Poets Department that day. I was just feeling it. The total number of songs that I listened to in 2024 was 1,358, and the total number of artists that I listened to in 2024 was 530. I'm a little surprised by those numbers. I love music, but I specifically listen to like the same like 6 artists on repeat, which you'll see in a minute. So it's kind of surprised me that I listened to 530. I'm not really sure how that happened, but here we are. My top song of 2024 was Who's Afraid of Little Old Me by Taylor Swift. No surprise, I love that song. It's my #1 song from Tortured Poets. It came out this year. Everything tracks, you know? I listened to it a total of 224 times since it came out in April, and I was in the top 0.001% of listeners of the song. Kind of going hand in hand with that, my top artist of the year was, no surprise, Taylor Swift, and I was in the top 0.05% of listeners, having spent 35,570 minutes with her this year. Kind of going off that into just like some little stats now. My top 5 artists of the year were Taylor Swift at #1, Sabrina Carpenter at #2, Maisie Peters at #3, Gracie Abrams at #4, and Olivia Rodrigo at #5, with an honorable mention at #6 was Chappell Roan. My top 5 songs of the year were #1, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me by Taylor Swift, #2, Down Bad by Taylor Swift, #3, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart by Taylor Swift, #4, Clairvaux by Taylor Swift, and #5, The Alchemy by, you guessed it, Taylor Swift. So with that being said, I really want to jump into like what 2025 is going to look like, what I want to accomplish, what I predict is going to happen in pop culture, that sort of thing. This section of the video is probably not going to be as long as the 2024 section, just because I don't know anything that's happened. I am filming this on January 1st, 2025. Life is a mystery right now. So my 2025 resolutions and goals. We have moved graduate college to 2025. That is something that I will accomplish by end of this year. I'm hoping in the summer, but I'm going to be realistic and just say by the end of this year. Probably check in with you guys on this kind of thing. Like once every quarter is kind of my idea. Is we'll do like a little like reflection on the last quarter and kind of like where we stand at in the resolutions and goals and things that, you know, just like a little check-in, just like a little besties meetup. I would like to go on another date this year. You know, like I said earlier, I'm just really trying to like broaden my horizons, kind of like force myself to do some new things. So I put one date, but I think ideally I'd really like to go on 4, one in each quarter, and I'd like to do something unique at each specific one. I don't just want to go out to dinner. I don't just want to go see a movie. I'd like to really like push myself and like meet new people and sort of just like see how that goes from there. My reading challenge for this year is, you know, last year I read 24 books because I was just getting into reading again. And I don't want to significantly jump that challenge because I did only just barely make it last year. So this year I'd like to read 36 books, which equals about 3 books a month, which I really think I'm going to be able to do. I'm actually currently about 20% in what will be my first read of 2024, which we will talk about. I plan at the end of every month or quarter, I haven't quite decided yet, doing like a little recap. Maybe I'll combine it with the quarter wrap up, but I'll probably be talking about books a lot because I just really love books. I'm always looking for recommendations. So please keep in mind that I probably haven't read much that's come out in the last 5 years, or that's been popular in the last 5 years because of that. So please, please, please give me recommendations. Going hand in hand with that, I'm about to drop some lore on you, something that floors every single one of my friends. I am a film and media major. I don't really care for movies. I really, really, really love TV shows, and that's why I want to be in film and media production. That's like kind of like where that goal stems from. You know, I want to work on TV show lots. Movies for me, I've always had a harder time concentrating on. I think the fact that they go fast, for lack of a better term, kind of like sways me from them. And I understand why people think differently and kind of think about this the opposite of the way that I think about it. But the way I see it is that a movie requires a lot more of my time and concentration than a TV show does. Because I have to commit to sitting down for the full hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours that I need to do to watch the movie. Because I'm not the kind of person who will be able to just get up in the middle of that movie, pause it, and come back to it in a couple of hours. I have to sit down with the full 2.5 hours to pay attention. Whereas with a TV show, 30 to 45 minutes. And then I can get up and I can take a break because there is a clear ending point. And if I've forgotten anything, typically the next episode starts with a little recap. That being said, I really, really, really want to get into more movies this year. I haven't seen a lot of classics. You know, quite frankly, last night was the first time I'd ever seen White Chicks from the 2000s, and my best friends were really gagged by that, so they made me watch it last night. So my goal this year is to watch 2 new to me movies a month, so 24 total. They do not have to be brand new. They could have come out in 1997, or, you know, they could have come out last year. Doesn't matter. I just want to watch 2 new to me movies each month so that I'm kind of like broadening my horizons a little bit. And kind of going in with that, I want to listen to 1 new to me album a month. Does not have to be a new to me artist. So for example, if Olivia Rodrigo were to come out with a 3rd album this year, which we'll talk about in my predictions, you know, let's say it comes out in May, then hers would count for the month of May because it is a new to me album. It doesn't have to be a new to me artist. I'd really like to kind of like broaden my horizons, listen to new people. I'd really like to get into some new artists this year. I really love music, and I would just like to get a chance to kind of like broaden my scopes for that. The books, movies, and albums I'm kind of calling my 3-2-1 method of the year. So 3 books a month, 2 movies a month, 1 album a month. I think it's very doable for me, even with a very busy schedule and wanting to also like have time for me. So I'm really excited about this. Now moving on to my 2025 pop culture predictions. Starting strong, I believe we will get Reputation Taylor's version and Taylor Swift Taylor's version by the end of the year. I do not care about the order. I do not know the order. I don't know what's best. I trust Taylor Swift to tell me what's best. I do believe we are getting both by the end of the year, and we'll be officially done with the re-recording era by December. Unless she decides to be crazy and do like the Karma Lost album, Beautiful Eyes, or the Holiday Collection. Those are the only things I could see that means that we're still in the re-recording era after this year. But I do truly believe we're still gonna get those 2 main albums by December. Kind of going hand in hand with that, I do believe we will get a new Olivia Rodrigo album, a new Maisie Peters album, a new Chappell Roan album, a new Harry Styles album, and then I am personally hoping for some Easter eggs of TS12. I do think that she'll begin to like Easter egg at it towards the end of the year if she hasn't already. Obviously, we're not going to know for sure until it's announced. Kind of like how we didn't with Tortured Poets, you just don't look back and see those things. But I do believe that she'll start hinting at it towards the end of this year. And that's really like my pop culture predictions. I'm feeling like a good music era this year. Now for my 2025 bucket list, it's fairly similar to the 2024 one that we just recapped, but I would like to travel to a new place. I'd like to get a kitten, and I would like to gain a new hobby, but specifically I think I want to get into coloring this year. I'm always looking for new hobbies, and I'm looking for stuff specifically I can do while watching TV. So I think coloring would be a really good one that I can kind of like split my attention for. That's all I really have written in my journal, so now I'm just gonna kind of go through my planner that's on my iPad and see if I find anything else to share with you guys. All right, so looking at my planner for 2025 that I have on my iPad, I know that this year I would like to start YouTube. If you're seeing this, I clearly have at least started it. I'm hoping to keep up with it. I don't really have like an upload schedule or anything like that. I just know I want to keep up with it this year. I would also like to start a TikTok, provided it does not get banned. This year, things that I'd like to continue doing, how I did last year, is I'd like to continue reading like I was. I would like to continue my water intake, because ever since I've gotten a Stanley, I've been very good at keeping my water. I always drink 1 to 2 of them a day, which is a lot more than I used to drink, so I'd like to make sure I keep up with that going forward. I'd like to learn Spanish. My roommate is from Argentina and speaks Spanish, so it's really something that's on my bucket list this year. And that's really it for my reflection on 2024 and my looking forward to 2025 video. I really hope you enjoyed this and kind of getting to know me while we discussed what this year is maybe gonna look like going forward, and also what this path will look like when we were kind of like retrospectively looking at it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and leave a comment, because those will make me smile for literally like the rest of my life. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye guys.